The Cannonball Run wasn't just another Hollywood car comedy. It was madness caught on film, born from a real illegal cross-country street race. The movie broke rules, rewrote scenes on the fly, and even got federal officials involved. Today, we're diving into 20 weird and fascinating facts about the Cannonball Run 1981, plus a bonus twist that most fans don't even know exists. Buckle up, because this ride is going to be fast, wild, and a little dangerous. Fact 1. Brock Yates' real-life outlaw race. Before it became a Hollywood comedy, the Cannonball Run was based on a real illegal race across America, created by automotive journalist Brock Yates. In 1971, Yates and legendary driver Dan Gurney sped from New York to Los Angeles in just 35 hours and 54 minutes in a souped-up Dodge van. They called it the Cannonball Baker Sea to Shining Sea Memorial Trophy Dash, honoring legendary racer Irwin Cannonball Baker. It wasn't a stunt for fun. It was a protest against government speed limits and highway regulations. Over the years, drivers used Ferraris, motorcycles, ambulances, and even hearses to compete. Fact 2. A cameo from the creator. Brock Yates didn't just write the story. He stepped into the film itself. He makes a cameo as a race official at the starting line, clipboard in hand, pretending to be in control. But in reality, Yates wasn't acting. He was reliving his own creation, the very illegal ambulance run he once drove with his wife and a fake medical crew on board. Fact 3. Burt Reynolds regretted it. At the time, Burt Reynolds was the biggest movie star in the world. Coming off Smokey and the Bandit, he didn't even need another car film. But director Hal Needham was his friend, and the paycheck was massive. Reynolds later admitted he only did the movie for fun and called it one of the worst choices of his career. Ironically, it became one of his most iconic roles. Fact 4. Farrah Fawcett thought it was serious. Farrah Fawcett believed she was starring in a romantic action movie. She studied her lines carefully, worked on her wardrobe, and even asked about character motivations. Then she arrived on set and saw Dean Martin and Sammy Davis Jr. stumbling around as drunk priests. Only when the audience laughed during her serious scenes did she realize it was a comedy. Fact 5. The real ambulance. That Dodge ambulance Reynolds drove in the film wasn't a prop. It was the very same vehicle Brock Yates and Hal Needham had used in the real Cannonball Run. Outfitted with fake medical gear and a pretend patient, it was designed to slip past police. The only reason it retired from racing? Its engine blew up outside Palm Springs. Fact 6. Sammy Davis Jr. wasn't first choice. The role of Fenderbaum, the wisecracking priest, was originally written for comedian Don Rickles. He was cast and ready, but he dropped out at the last minute. Producers scrambled, called in Sammy Davis Jr., and history was made. His chemistry with Dean Martin became one of the funniest parts of the movie. Fact 7. Dean Martin and Sammy Davis Jr. were actually drunk. Those communion wine jokes, they weren't just for laughs. Both Dean Martin and Sammy Davis Jr. were drunk through much of the shoot. They improvised, forgot lines, and showed up late. But director Hal Needham let it slide because their natural charisma carried the scenes. Fact 8. Roger Moore played James Bond. Roger Moore didn't officially play James Bond, but his character Seymour Goldfarb Jr. basically thought he was 007. He drove an Aston Martin DB5, wore tuxedos, and delivered spy cliches. The real James Bond producers weren't happy, and after that, future Bond actors were banned from parodying the role. Moore loved it. It gave him a chance to laugh at his own image. Fact 9. The stunt accident that changed Hollywood. Not all the chaos was funny. During filming, stuntwoman Heidi Vaughn Belch was left paralyzed after a stage crash went wrong because her seatbelt wasn't installed. Her lawsuit became a landmark case of safety, leading to new Hollywood rules requiring mandatory seatbelts and stricter stunt regulations. Fact 10. Jackie Chan's U.S. debut. The Cannonball Run was Jackie Chan's first major role in an American film. Though he had only a handful of scenes, he used them like an audition reel, flipping off walls, diving through windows, and showing off martial arts that were unlike anything U.S. audiences had ever seen. It was the beginning of his Hollywood takeover. Fact 11. The script barely existed. The movie wasn't fully scripted. Many scenes were rewritten in trailers, improvised on set, or just made up as they went. Farrah Fawcett admitted she never saw a complete script. Dean Martin often said whatever came to mind, and Dom DeLuise improvised most of his lines. Fact 12. Jackie Chan's Blooper's legacy. The blooper reel at the end of the film inspired Jackie Chan's career-long tradition. He loved the idea so much that he began including behind-the-scenes bloopers in all his own movies, turning mistakes and painful stunts into fan favorites. Fact 13. The illegal jet stunt. The movie features a real Learjet flying dangerously low over a narrow road. The stunt was filmed without permits, and when the FAA found out, they launched an investigation. Director Hal Needham had to talk his way out of serious legal trouble. Fact 14. Jackie Chan was labeled wrong. In the film, Jackie Chan was incorrectly identified as Japanese instead of Chinese. For Chan, this wasn't just a mistake. It was disrespectful. Still, he delivered stunning stunt work that cemented his place in Hollywood, even if he wasn't fully understood yet. Fact 15. Real cops thought it was a crime. While filming in Las Vegas, the crew staged a fake police chase with sirens and weapons without a filming permit. Real police officers thought it was real and stormed the set. Luckily, nobody was arrested, but the production was given a strict warning. Fact 16. Dom DeLuise couldn't stop laughing. As Captain Chaos, Dom DeLuise constantly broke character. He'd laugh so hard during takes that Burt Reynolds would roll his eyes in frustration. But director Hal Needham loved it and kept the ruined takes in the film because they were simply too funny. Fact 17. The video game it inspired. In 1986, Japanese game designer Yu Suzuki created Outrun, a revolutionary arcade racing game inspired by the Cannonball run. Instead of traditional racing rules, the game focused on freedom, speed, and the feeling of escape. Fact 18. Burt's stunt double Easter egg. In one scene, a highway patrolman pulls over a Lamborghini. Freeze frame, and you'll notice he looks exactly like Burt Reynolds. That's because it wasn't Burt. It was his stunt double, Roy Tatum, who bore such a striking resemblance that crew members sometimes confuse him on set. Fact 19. The director's own Ferrari. The sleek red Ferrari 308 used by Dean Martin and Sammy Davis Jr. wasn't just a studio car. It belonged to director Hal Needham himself. He handed the keys to the actors and told them not to wreck it. They nearly did, but Needham never pulled it from the film. Fact 20. The sequel was greenlit early. Most movies wait for box office results before planning a sequel. Not this one. Cannonball Run 2 was approved before the first film was even finished, just based on the laughter to test audiences and studio execs. Bonus fact, the forgotten sequel. In 1989, a film called Speed Zone, also known as Cannonball Fever or Cannonball Run 3, tried to continue the franchise. It starred John Candy, Eugene Levy, and Brooke Shields, but flopped so badly that most fans don't even know it exists. And that's the wild story behind Cannonball Run 1981. A movie that wasn't just about breaking speed limits, but about breaking every Hollywood rule in the book. Which fact blew your mind the most? Let me know in the comments below. And if you love crazy behind-the-scenes movie stories, hit that like button, subscribe, and buckle up, because we got more cinematic chaos on the way.